Hi, violins. So in this lesson, we are talking about how we write our D string notes on the staff. The first thing we have to talk about is what is the staff? The staff is those 5 lines and 4 spaces that all of our music lives on. We can't confuse that with our violin because our violin only has 4 strings. So the 5 lines of the staff don't represent our instrument at all. If we're talking about how the notes look on our instrument, we'll see 4 tall lines going up and down. The 5 lines of our staff are horizontal, they go long ways. So I've got a piece of paper here, and I'm going to draw my staff nice and big so you can see all of my notes. When you're practicing drawing this with me, you can make your lines a little bit smaller, but know that we are going to put notes on it. So it needs to be big enough to have notes to live on there. So here are my 5 lines in a nice, pretty teal color. And they're not perfect, they're not beautiful, but they work. So even space between them. And then the next thing that we need to do is put the first thing that we always see in our music. As violin players, the first thing we should always see is our treble clef. Treble clef has a nice little easy way to remember how to draw it is JD6. We're going to start above the top line, draw all the way down below the line and give it a little tail. It's kind of like a J, sort of. So go ahead and draw your J. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to go back to the top where we started, and we're going to draw an uppercase D, but it's going to be a little bit smooshed in. That is going to end just above my middle line, around in that area. And then after we have our J and our D, we're going to draw the weirdest looking 6 you've ever drawn. So these are things to help us remember, but we're not going to exactly draw what we say. So we're going to pick up where we left off, and we have some important landmarks to get to. So watch me do this first, and then you can draw it. I'll give you time. We're going to loop down, touch the bottom line, and then curl around the second line. This is important, really, really important that we land just like that. While you're drawing that, I'm going to tell you why it's so important. The other name for our treble clef is G clef. This curl actually tells us where the note G lives on our staff. If we move the clef, then G lives in a new place. So I'm going to go ahead and label my treble clef. You are going to label yours, and then draw your clef 4 more times. As you get better at drawing the clef, since I've drawn tons of them now, I actually start on the curl and swoop around up and down. You can practice it that way also. So practice those 5 treble clefs total, and then you're going to watch the next video.